What's going on, third graders? Mr. Mendaglio back here again. I hope you guys are really watching and enjoying these videos. All of our teachers are working really, really hard to try our best to visually show you each of these lessons, especially with the fractions, and now moving on a number line and using a whole number with a fraction. All right, so I'm going to go through this one. We're dealing with line plots. Going a little further with line plots. Yesterday, Miss Vaughn had the video showing you guys about ½ inch. Now we're going to just switch the fraction up and just do 1/4 of an inch. All right. Hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's safe. Darian, I hope you're practicing. I saw your smack talking on YouTube. You got a whole summer to practice, buddy. Because when we come back, I'm going to school you, my friend. I'm going to show you, young buck. All right. All right, guys. Let's get back. Let's see what we got to do for our math here today. All right. So I like working through the video, stopping, and then kind of showing you a little bit more with the video. I think Miss Vaughn does that as well. So you're seeing 3 or 4 different styles of teaching for you guys, and we're trying to give you the best way to make sure you understand each lesson. All right. So I will stop and pause during some of these so you guys are aware. So let's just push play here and let's start.
How can you make and use line plots? Think about this question during the lesson.
Okay.
Anna is measuring the length of her crayons. How can she use a ruler to measure to the nearest 1/4 inch?
All right, I'm pausing here because here's a couple things I want to tell you guys. One, if you have a ruler, use it. Take the ruler out, okay? If you got one of those larger rulers, smaller, it doesn't matter. Use the ruler. You guys, you could also use up here in the toolbox right here. When you click this, the rulers will pop up, all right? Or if you want, they're giving you the visual right here. So I want to just show this real quick, okay? When you see this, before you even do any of these measurements or look, I want you to see how this is like a number line, all right? And they all kind of similar like our number line, all right? So don't make fun of the drawings here, all right? Good, all right? So we're going from 0 to 3. We know that. And these are our whole numbers. They're going to stay our whole numbers. But in between each whole number, there are intervals or spaces or regions, however you want to call it. It's all the same thing, guys, okay? These are all spaces. The rule of thumb is all of these spaces have to be equal and the same number between each whole number. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 spaces. So there's got to be 4 spaces between 1 and 2, 4 spaces between 2 and 3. So what that means is our fraction broken down here is broken down into fourths, okay? There's 4 spaces. So they're broken down into fourths, guys. Now, one thing you can do, all right, let's close that out, is mark these things off. So right here, you know this is 1/4, okay? I can't stand this computer sometimes, guys. All right, this is 2/4. All right. It'd be easier when you guys do this on paper. All right. This is 3/4. And then this is 4/4. The reason why I want to show you this is because it's important to number your number line, okay? And it's like a number line, guys. That's why I want you to see this. 4/4. All right? It's 4/4. Now, as you go further, this is 5/4. This is 6/4. This is 7/4. That's when you're breaking it down into a fraction. Now, here's what I want to show you if we're not dealing with fractions. So if this is one whole number, okay, I'm going to do it above here. So now 1 will always be here because we're dealing with 1. So if this was 1 and I add a 4th to it, take a second. If I add a 4th to 1 and I put them together, what's my new number? My new number is going to be 1 and 1/4. All right? Try to do it nice and slow so you guys can see it. That won't work. It was working well. 1 and 1/4. So if this is 1 and 1/4, now if I add 2/4 to it, my number here is going to be 1 and 2/4. All right? Got it? This would be 1 and 3/4. And then there's 2. Now, if I continue with 2, now my number changes. My whole number changes, but my fractions don't, guys. They don't change. So now, instead of 1 1/4, now I have 2 1/4. All right? Ooh, that's a bad 2. I can see Bria Charles laughing at me right now. Probably Riley and Mrs. Vaughn's class. I know all you got. Mr. M is not a good drawer. If there were stick figures, I'd be killing it right now. So, what I want you to focus on here before I let this ride out and roll, okay? Each section here is a fourth, guys. So when you're moving on, it's 1/4, right? So this is 4/4, right? This is a whole. 1 1/4, 1 2/4, 1 3/4. Now when I add another 4/4, that's 2 holes. Boom. Now I have 2 holes. Now my new whole number going forward is 2, but I keep my fractions the same. 2 1/4, 2 2/4, 2 3/4, and now I go to 3. So I want you to see that as we're moving on. All right, guys? Close that out and listen up.
The distance between each whole number on this ruler is 1 inch. Each blue mark shows 1/4
We
inch.
just said that, right?
So
1/4
each
inch.
whole inch is divided into 4 1/4 inches.
Each whole inch is divided by 1/4 inch. Okay? It's into 4 sections of 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then there's your 4th. It's broken up that, and it has to stay the same. Okay?
Line up one end of the object with 0. The 10th 1/4 inch mark is closest to the right end of the crayon. So, to the nearest 4th inch, the crayon measures 10/4 inches. What is another way to write 10/4 inches?
Now, let's pause. 2 important things. 1.
Select your answer.
Be quiet, buddy. 2 things here. 1, please make sure whenever you're measuring anything, you always start at 0. Okay? It has to be at the end so you know you're measuring correctly. Second thing here, we know that this is 10 10/4, but now let's go by that 2. You know this is 2, okay? Now count how many fourths in between that 2 and that 3 is. So if I have 2, how many fourths after that is that? Take a pause, and I want to see if you guys can get this. All right, so if I have 2, and I keep moving, I have 2 1/4, 2 2/4. It's closer to 2 2/4. It's not at the 3/4 mark yet. So I get this, I drag it in. I'm a genius. I'm
This
the
is
best.
2 whole inches and 2 1/4 inches. You can write this as 2 2/4 inches.
All right, awesome. Moving on.
Anna measured her other 9 crayons. She then recorded the data in a line plot.
A line plot is a way to organize
explain
data
this.
on a number line.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right here. The difference with this is now you know the number line, you know how to break it into fractions, and the whole number with the fraction, okay, when you're dealing with inches, half inches, and quarter inches. The line plot is just simply getting your information and putting them in a graph. Now, most of the time, you guys are used to getting a graph and then seeing a graph kind of this way, guys, right? You know, you get the graph. It's kind of like this. Tells you how many, right? This way, right? This is what you're used to. Stupid computer. All right, you're used to that. And then filling them up and doing the graph like this. All right? Well, what they're doing here, guys, is instead of doing that, they want you to get all the information. So how many 1 3/4 inches crayons do you have? Right here, they're telling you 3. So what you do is here, dot, dot, dot. So however many crayons you have in that same length, you're just putting the dots above it to show you the data. Okay, all this is a plot graph, right? A line plot is getting dots and putting the information above the specific number. All right, that's all that we're doing on that. Okay, let me close that out. Go here. So basically what they're doing here is, for example, okay, right here, you would make a draw a line plot. So what is your smallest number that you're dealing with here? The smallest number that you're dealing with here is 5 1/4. Okay, so you don't have to start your number line at 0. Oh, that's a bad number line. Oh boy. So what you're starting off right here is marking 5 1/4. Because why do I want to care about 3s and 2s and 1s? Why? You don't need that. Start with your smallest number and end with your largest number. So here I have 5 1/4. Oh, it's bad. Oh, man. Oh, look, this is horrendous. But bear with me, okay? You guys know what I'm doing here. Good, 5 1/4. My largest one is going to be 6. All right? Boy, do I miss my smartboard. 6. All right? Then you also have 5 2/4. All right? And then you have... there we go. Good. 5 2/4, and then you have 5 3/4. All right? Now that you have all of these numbers like this, and on your number line, now you can graph your line plot. Okay? You can graph your line plot. Good. So you're going to count them up. 5/4. I have 1, 2. So I'm going to put 2 dots right above that. Boom. Very important here. Watch this, guys. Okay? Cross them out. So you don't double up. This is very important. Cross it out. 2/4. I have 1. Cross it out. I'm going to put a dot right here. 5 3/4. I have 1. Put a dot. Cross it out. And then number 6, I have 1 and put a dot. All right. So all you're doing is getting the information and making the number line. A couple important pieces of information. Okay. Know the spaces in between whole numbers has to be the same for how many whole numbers you have. Okay. So if you're dealing with quarters, they have to be split into 4. 4 spaces between 5 and 6, 4 spaces between 6 and 7, and so forth. Okay. The other thing is when you're graphing the plots, once you have all your information, start with the smallest number. So if it's 5 1/4, that's where your number line starts. Don't start at 2 and 3. Don't put more information than you need. Okay. And when you're doing the plots, make sure you put the dots above it and cross them out. All right. I hope this video has helped. If you have any questions, my group, you guys know you could ask me on my forum on Google Classroom. And however you guys ask questions for Miss Iozia, Mrs. Bellafemi, and Mrs. Vaughn, you ask them in that way. Guys, really miss you guys. Please stay safe. And like I always say, peace, love, and happiness.